All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's midweek hobby time. As you can see, I am doing some Norse Bubble Team still. Surprising no one, because I still have another 9 to go. So I'm going to start off base coating the guy in front, and then working on the guys at the back. All right. So let's begin. Music today is from Relaxation Harmonies. It's copyright free. It is their Fantasy Medieval Music Volume 2. You go check them out. Let's get the right shade to begin our base coating. Alright, so I'm just going to do a very rough, ready kind of base coat on this guy. Nothing too spectacular. I'll probably begin painting him today, but my focus is on the other two specifically to get them started. Well, I want to get the other two completed, but I'm going to warm up by base coating this chap. Because it feels like ages since I painted, even though it's only been a few days. It's been a long few days. Some of you may notice that the lighting is different from last time. It's because I'm using a daylight lamp. At the moment, it's actually coming towards the evening in the UK at the moment. So the daylight lamp just allows me to keep painting even though it's dark outside. You can get them on, online. They're usually not too expensive. I thoroughly recommend them if you like painting at odd hours of the night. They really help with the color and things like that. Alright, so I'm starting off with just Abaddon Black. And this is just a wide chisel tip brush. It's got super soft bristles, so it's getting into all the little nooks and crannies that kind of can be missed very easily if you're using a paintbrush to base coat. Like I said, it's kind of a rough base coat, so if I miss a couple of bits here and there, I'm not going to worry too much. I'll go over it properly before I paint. But this is just to make sure that all the tones and everything match the rest of the team when I do come to paint them. So I'll be working over a lot of the same area to make sure there's not too much paint gathering in any of the crevices. Alrighty. So coming up here, and I'm just using the chisel tip of the brush to get in between the shields, the armor plates, the fingers, that kind of area. I'm not loading too much paint on the brush as well, so it'll stop it getting overloaded. Last time I ordered muscular mango berserk online, I had the time of my life. Welcome in, Sploop. I hope you're doing well. Funnily enough, sounds like you're playing the wrong game. Sounds like you needed to be playing some Blood Bowl in your life for the Berserk men to help you. Or, a corn army. One of the two. And welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. It is fantastic to see you, as always. Just me talking to myself, that's all. Well, I suppose that's what streaming is. Streaming, recording, any of that kind of thing. You're just talking to yourself and hoping someone on the internet pays attention. That Dr. Cake, welcome in. Good to see you. I love the chicken emote. You far better. You just got back from 14 days in the hospital. I'm glad you're back too, Sploop, and I'm glad you're doing better. I'm sorry to hear that you were in the hospital. But I hope you're recovering well now. And I hope the rest of your recovery is speedy and without trouble. And I hope it wasn't anything too serious that landed you in there. Alrighty. So with this, I'm just, as I was saying at the beginning, I'm just doing a very quick sort of warm-up base coat layer on this guy. Just, you know, with a chisel tip brush, just a pot of good old Abaddon black. Just kind of getting into the groove of painting and streaming before I get into the main two guys that I wanted to focus on for today. In just a few moments. So I want to complete at least the other two guys that you see on the board just at the top of the frame. I want to do at least those two today, because I want to start getting towards finishing this. But I still have another 6 guys to go for the team. So I need to kind of pick up the pace a little bit and actually finish off some guys. Because otherwise I'll still be doing this when Christmas rolls around. Alrighty. So, I'm going to start off with Berserker chap, I think. Yes, you might notice some things have disappeared from the screen. That's because of the name change on Twitch. So all my social media and stuff is currently in a state of temporary name change flux. I do plan to be getting new panels and whatnot. But just bear in mind that some of the information might not be accurate yet while I get that done. But if you need any of the links, let me know. I'll be happy to provide them. I know the YouTube link is correct, but the rest of it might not be. Because apparently things don't like it when you change your name. Who knew? Alright. Get some in. I understand, Split. Understand. I'm glad you have gotten some help. And I'm glad to hear that it's, you feel like it's done you some good, and I hope things continue to move in the right direction. Yeah, it can be hard to ask for help sometimes. So I understand. Also, I've not been in exactly the same situation. I appreciate how easy it can be to get there. Alright. Next up, some wolfman flesh. Or Rakath flesh, I believe. This is the one? Yes. So it's Rakath flesh. Next up. I'm going for that greyish kind of not quite fully human look with the skin tone on this guy. I do appreciate you being here, Sploop. It's always good to see you. And I really do hope you have a smooth recovery. Alright. So this chap, not so much a fan of the trousers, so he's in the short shorts. The short fuzzy shorts. Always fun to paint. Even when your paintbrush misbehaves. Because that blue won't come out of the bristles, won't it? There we go. Much better. Hen, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you doing? I hope you're having an excellent evening, Hen. Yeah, like I was saying, I will get all the panels and things sorted back again. Once I've finished actually doing all the updates to my social media information. So that the wonderful artist who may or may not have just arrived in chat has all the information she needs. Very hard. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Sploop. Without going into too much detail, I had a similar experience a little while back, which led me to the same conclusions. It's effectively excuse me. Excuse me. Couldn't mute myself in time. Yeah, it I had a similar experience which led me to very similar conclusions. So it's not easy to leave yourself vulnerable. But it's good that you've got people that you trust around you. And yeah, I'm glad that you feel like you're feeling better and that things are improving. It's an important thing that you're doing. So I am proud of you for doing it. If no one has said that already. A really, really comfy day. Glad to hear it, Hen. I'm very glad to hear it. I'm doing well. So it's Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. Not to date the content or anything, but it's Fibromyalgia Awareness Day today. So ironically, I needed to have a bit of time off work to manage some of my fibromyalgia symptoms. Funny how that goes. Is that right? I've got this chap's arms on backwards. Bugger. No wonder they looked weird. Anyway. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice that. But yeah, it's Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. I ended up having fibromyalgia symptoms, so I took some time off work today to deal with that. It was really nice. I just got to chill. Yeah, just kind of put my feet up for a little bit. And now I get a nice, chill, comfy evening with painting. I'm gonna have to see if I can switch the... Did I put them on backwards? I definitely put those hands on backwards. Damn it. That's gonna annoy me all night. What? Yeah, I should be commissioning you when you have time, Hen, for a little bit of VOD updates. And also sub badges. I've been meaning to do a proper set of sub badges for so long. Where they're all, one consistent thing. Rather than like two different sub badge sets mushed together. Anytime. Well, I should be able to do it at the end of May. And I'm just getting the details together. So you've got all the information you need. So as soon as I have all of that, I'll send you one in a couple of weeks. Yeah. This paintbrush is misbehaving today. Sat there like, no, I shall not do what you tell me to. I'm a strong, independent paintbrush. I don't need to stay in no lines. Oh, you're going in the bin at this rate. I know you're busy at the moment, Hen, so I'm not gonna commission you now anyway. Just whenever you have time, I'll shoot you a message for the panels and things. Because I love that panel that you did for me. The little comfy emote when I need to get all the information updated for it first. Okay. So I'm going to try and ignore the fact that the hands are on backwards for the time being. Hopefully this guy shouldn't be too tricky to paint. I can borrow him at the back of photos. So no one notices except me. I don't know how I missed that before. Oh boy. But yeah, today I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for. Because, you know, I kind of want to not push it. Today I just want to do a little bit of the hobby stuff, a little bit of a chill session, and then should hopefully be a bit more refreshed for Sunday's stream. Yeah, we'll see. I'll see how I go, basically. But I at least want to do a couple of hours tonight. You know what? That brush is done. Had enough of it misbehaving on me. I'm starting to think I actually prefer these synthetic brushes. They just seem to hold their shape a little bit better. At least in my rather limited experience with them. Company times as long as feeling? Yeah, basically. Just be comfy. I want to get a couple of guys done today, but if I can't manage it for whatever reason, you know, I'm not gonna stress. I'm just gonna do as much as possible. Basically. The whole point of these sort of midweek sessions are to just have a comfy little pause in the middle of the week. You know, and just sort of catch your breath. Relax. And, yeah. let the stress go away for a few. At least that's my plan with them. I know for a lot of people it's nearly the end of the working week. I envy you. I still have 2 more days. But that is okay. I'm currently looking into maybe booking a little chill session soon. I just book a few days off work and, you know, do some longer streams, relax, just basically not work for a few days. Which would be cool. Be nice and comfy. Lots of time for games with people. Totally not considering doing it because of Arc 2 coming out soon. Oh, sorry, not Arc 2. Fjordo for Arc coming out soon. I know that was slated for June, I believe. And charity streams at the end of June as well. That'll be fun. There'll be a lot more information about that coming out soon. It feels like ages since the last one. So much has happened since then. So we'll be raising money for WWF again soon. They haven't announced what their next campaign will be going towards. But that should come out in the next couple of weeks or so. And then once we've got a few more details, I'll be able to let you all know. And I want to get some merch out by the end of June for you all. I'm just finalizing some design ideas that I'm doing myself. And they should be done soon. My horribly janky MS Paint ideas. But it's been fun. Something new to try. A new skill. And then obviously I'll get some proper designs done. A bit more in the future though, for that. You know, one step at a time. So, like I said, I'm still kind of working through on getting base colors done for this guy. So a lot of this will change. I know it looks a little bit Yes. Rough and ready right now. But I'm just kind of marking out the colors and the ideas. Alright. And then enjoying the wonderful sounds of relaxation harmonies, whilst also trying to ignore the train going on outside. I apologise if that's coming through on stream. Alrighty. Yeah, nice comfy times today. I hope everyone's been having a good day. Sorry, folks, one moment. All right. So, still very much a first draft kind of stage. Just kind of marking out all the different areas with like the general idea of the colors. So while I know what I want it to look like as a final thing, it helps to sort of mark out colors. And this is a stage where I sort of take the idea and go, is this working? Or is this something I need to change at this stage? Because this stage, it's a lot easier to repaint and try different colors, different segments if it's not working. Which is why I call it the first draft stage. So, you know, all of the metals will have their silver put on. Different shades of brown. Meeting with an old client and how to talk about next project. Oh, that'll be nice. Working on the cosplay. Wow, next week already? You've done that really quickly, Hen. That's amazing. I love watching your cosplay projects. I think they're fantastic. They're so different to anything I'm familiar with as well, which just makes it extra interesting for me, to be honest. It's like, oh, how does this work? So I love watching them sort of come to life. I'm sure your client will love it too. That's awesome, Hen. Take it easy or slow with this one? Wow. Well, I'm glad you're taking it easy. But that's still super speedy. Alright, I'm gonna go. You're just too pro, Hen. I don't know, maybe I don't really But I don't have a good understanding of how long these things could take. But I know, like, a lot of cosplayers can spend months and months and months on them. Cosplay streams at some point? Ooh. That's so cool. I look forward to seeing them, Hen. I wish I had the time to learn more about cosplay. It's one of those things that I love reading about and I love seeing. Like, I love seeing other people create cosplays and all the artistry that goes into it. I think it's incredible. But yeah, it's one of those things, you know. You can't do everything all at once, as much as I'd like to try. Not everything at once. That would be a hell of a superpower, right? You don't necessarily know everything, but you can learn it all at the same time without, you know, exploding. You want to learn about finance, you want to learn about dressmaking and 8 languages and I don't know, ancient Greek philosophy all at once. You can do it. But I think if a normal human tried to do that, they'd explode. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just a wuss when it comes to studying these days. Trim, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for the pasta check. And oops, did not mean to hit that button. Thank you for the hydrate as well. It's good to see you. I'm hydrating. I hope everyone stretches, relax your shoulder, unclench your jaw. Stretch your hands out if you've been typing for a while. Your body will thank you. That's poppin'. Thank you, nails. Black and purple. Very nice. Very nice. I approve. I have like 2-week-old matte like matte skin tone nail varnish on. So you basically can't tell I'm wearing nail varnish at the moment. Or I suppose, I don't know if it'd be a varnish or a polish. But yeah, it's just basically almost exactly my skin tone. So you can't tell I'm wearing it. Dark out colors? Hell yeah. Gonna be black, purple, and gold. Ooh, fancy. I love nail art. Painted nails are great. Doesn't matter what your gender presentation is. If you got painted nails, I like it. But they are a chore to take care of sometimes. So I typically just go for one color, unless I'm feeling especially fancy. Cool, that is crazy in details. Yeah, it's something that I've been curious to get into. Because mini painting, nail art, kind of go hand in hand. They're both very, very fine, detailed artworks. But yeah, I don't take care enough of my nails to be able to do it full time. But I love watching people. Again, I love time lapses. Anyone who does a time lapse of any creative endeavor, I'm glued. I'm hooked. Dang it. Awkward blind spots are awkward. There you go. Sorry, folks, if this is out of shot. Just getting in that one awkward little bit. Well, like, why? Because. That's great. That's fantastic to hear, Trim. No, as a non-binary individual, I fully recognize that gender is defined gender roles. Kind of bullshit. They typically hurt people more than they help them. I could not care less what your gender identity is. If you're comfortable and happy in your skin, that's great with me. That's what it's all about, really. Life is too short to worry about the labels we use to describe ourselves. And if you've got a problem with that, then this ain't the community for you, friend. Because I don't plan on changing. Time lapses are comfy? Yes. They're super comfy. I really want to learn how to do those. That's my my next YouTube project, is paint stream time lapses. Connor is also non-binary. Aw, I didn't realize, Trim. That's awesome. No, yeah. I spent most of my my childhood being made to feel inadequate for not being ladylike enough. So maybe there's something in it. But I also decided, fuck it, I don't want to be ladylike and I don't want to be masculine. Why do I have to pick again? And it just kind of made sense. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Once I found out what it is, I was just like, yes, this is me. Not one or the other, just kind of am. Yeah. Yeah, if you own a uterus in the US right now, I have so much empathy for you. I really do. I am sorry that the world is treating you like this, or your country is treating you like this. Just, solidarity. You gonna go back? No worries, Trim. Take care. Take care. I hope you enjoy the nails. Have a good one too. I appreciate you stopping by. It's good to see you again. Florida, oof. Sorry here. Best of luck to you and your partner. Okay. Also comfy being non-binary? Yeah, I mean, a lot of I know I kind of read female. Yeah, and I don't plan on changing my voice or anything like that. It realistically it just changes which box I tick in the in the gender column. I've always dressed quite androgynously when I've been given the option to. I've always been very androgynous in terms of my interests, so that sort of thing doesn't really change, and it shouldn't. I'm comfortable with whatever. Like I don't care about pronouns. I never have. If you want to call me dude, go ahead. If you want to call me milady, okay, you do you. Yeah, and I changed my name at the same time, and it was easier to combine the two and go, hey guys, guess what? But before I even knew what non-binary was, I had the intention of changing my name to something neutral, because I didn't like the name I was given at birth. So I think maybe a part of me knew already. I just didn't have the words to describe it until I discovered what non-binary was. Oh yeah. It is what it is. I have no issue with how individuals choose to present themselves. I love the fact that more and more you're seeing, ostensibly heteronormative men experimenting with things like nail polish and makeup and stuff like that. It's really cool to see. It's just like, yay! Appreciate them. Feel pretty. If you're male and you've never been given the opportunity to feel pretty, do it. Give yourself that opportunity, even if no one sees, even if it's just for you. You deserve to feel pretty too. Prettiness does not have to be purely feminine or female. If you want the girliest manicure known to humankind, do it. I support you. I'm cheering you on. This is your sign. To have a ridiculously indulgent self-pamper day. Hey, Clive, welcome in. You got me on a bit of a ramble. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Alrighty. So we're kind of moving into layer 2. So it's not quite out of base layers yet. Still kind of getting the colors right. But we're taking more care. We're making sure it's a little bit neater and tidier. I say as I immediately blob onto another piece. But yeah. Just being a little more cautious this time. This is final draft 1, so to speak. I was gonna hear Jinxie run. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Clive. I really hope things get better for you. I'm really sorry to hear that. Just, yeah, drop me a message if you ever need to vent. Yes, I am doing well. I've been aggressively taking care of myself. I think is the best way to put it. Yeah, just kind of pulling myself out of a bit of a hole over the past couple of weeks or months or years, depending on what issue I look at. Feeling more like myself for the first time in a long time, which is nice. Not 100% of the way there yet, but starting to feel like I will be soon. So that's good. It's a good feeling. So then, thank you, Clive. No, genuinely, I hope whatever is bothering you passes swiftly and without further trouble. Whatever it may be. Hey, there we go. There's that less streaky paint that I was looking for. Need to better that myself. Yeah, it was there's a lot of things, but the big one, which is the most obvious and public one, a couple of weeks ago I sort of hit the probably the lowest point in terms of my content creating, and how I felt about it, and just generally was seriously considering giving the whole lot up. Just sort of going, nope, fuck it, I'm out. And sort of as the last ditch effort, I started watching some videos from folks like Devon Nash and a few other people in a similar sort of marketing, content creation, specialism realm. I'm just gonna do this super quickly. Sorry, just needed to fix something on my camera. But yes, I started watching more to do with the mechanics and the background of it, if that makes sense. And it just kind of, I don't really know how to describe it, but it basically lit a fire under my backside to stop making the same mistakes that I had been. Get myself out of the hole. And yeah, hence why I changed my Twitch name to something I actually like. Started doing YouTube which is something I've been saying for literally years that I wanted to do. Just haven't done it. I stopped saying I'm going to do stuff and I've actually started doing it, basically. And I've not felt this I wouldn't say passion, I guess. It's just sort of keenness to keep creating. Is something I've been missing for a long, long time. And it's nice to have that back. Because I just felt stuck. And it's nice to not feel stuck again. When a lot of other things have not gone so well, to have one thing go well has been really good. Love the new name. Thank you. I have been thinking about that. Not even kidding. I have been thinking about changing my name on here for about 2 years. So when I say I've been feeling stuck, and not so much, it wasn't procrastination that was holding me back. It was more of decision paralysis, I guess, of just too many what ifs. I just kept thinking about everything that would go wrong with it, everything it would cost, you know. What if it tanks my Twitch? What if it, you know, it's too much, kind of thing. I didn't let myself think about, well, what if it works? Just silly. I know I keep telling people, like, I just needed to started both taking my advice, and I needed someone to sort of externally go, hey, stop procrastinating and fucking do the thing. Just do it. So, yeah, Sheila Buffett. And yeah, it's helped immensely. Just, even if I look back on the videos, the name change, whatever, in a few years' time and go, ugh, what was I thinking? You know, God, that was a terrible thing to do. I've broken the paralyzing what if situation in my head, and it's cleared so much mental junk away in the process that I'll be in a much better position in a few years down the line to be able to analyze that and go, you know, that was a good idea, bad idea, whatever. So yeah. Analysis paralysis, bipolar and OCD, yeah. I can appreciate that, Clive. It's not something that I'm familiar with. I despite, you know, general anxiety and all the rest of the fun and games that come with that, and depression, making the choice to do the things has never really been my problem. Once I've decided this is what I'm doing, usually I literally do it that minute, kind of thing. So yeah, whatever psychological junk was causing a blockage in my brain, for it to have caused such a long-standing blockage was something pretty spectacular. I think part of it was needing that external kick up the backside. Just having someone who's in a position of authority to go, hey, you're being an idiot. Get your ass in gear, do the thing, you know, get on with it, worry about the consequences later. It's, yeah, surprisingly powerful. Oh, thank you, Clive. No, honestly, it's combination of Devon Nash videos and Autumn Ivy motivation. Autumn Ivy is a phenomenal individual who I look up to immensely. They're a content creator, but they're also heavily into fitness and things like that, and the daily motivation videos they post just had such a good impact on me. I just binge watched them for literally hours. It was just like, right, here's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, here we are. I don't know. I guess it was like it's a chain reaction, you know? Sometimes it's one little thing that breaks the dam that lets the river flow clean again, so to speak. To be all metaphorical about it. Oh, man. You're the best. Thank you, Clive. Thank you. You too. Seriously, you're one of the most hardworking people I've ever encountered on this platform. And a wonderful, wonderful human being. And if anyone deserves success, it's you. And I know you'll find it. I have every confidence you will. Okay. I'm glad it just. I know I'm not 100% of the way there yet. I still have work to do, but now that thought doesn't scare me anymore. The look how far I've got to go doesn't scare me. It's exciting instead of terrifying. Which is cool. Yeah, learning new things. Something I've always loved. It's content creation, science, art, psychology, philosophy. Learning new stuff's cool. And fun. Lost my confidence. Yeah, the thing that is always hard as a content creator, and I let it get to me, and I know it's gotten to literally every content creator I have ever encountered. This whole business is so seasonal and cyclical. You know, what goes up must come down, but it also comes back up again. So if you're going through a slump, don't let it stop you doing what you do, because what you do is awesome, Clive. And I say that both as a friend and someone who genuinely just enjoys your content. I would watch your content even if we weren't friends. So it's fickle and it's cyclical, and it's really hard to motivate yourself when it's not going the way you want it to. I get that. You get there. Imposter syndrome is strong. It is a powerful bastard. for want of a better word, it is a powerful, powerful bastard. But I know you're stronger than it. And then whatever works for you to get out of it, I know you'll figure it out. For me, it was creating something else. It was, it was starting the YouTube journey that got me out of the funk, and then just sort of going, fuck it, I'm not going to wait for some random perfect time to do something that I have been wanting to do for literal years on this channel. I'm just going to do it. And then once I started thinking like that, so many other things started falling into place. And I've also been doing it, in my personal life as well, of seizing the initiative rather than waiting for luck die to fall in my hand. To use D&D term. Is that? Well, you're welcome, Clive. Genuinely, I have absolute faith in you. I know you'll figure it out. Yeah, don't wait for the luck die. What you've got has value without luck. Even if there's just one person watching, it has value. It's worthwhile. But you deserve all the success. No, it's a lot of the advice I was looking at were things that just don't get talked about. Yeah, it's like, what do you do if you're just streaming to 0 people every night? Well, how do you figure out why people aren't coming? Is it? It seems so common sense. When he explains it, you're just like, well, yeah, of course that makes sense. But then you look at your own behavior and you're like, shit, I wasn't doing this. One of the most stubborn people. Exactly. Exactly. You are, like, and I mean this as a compliment, you are incredibly stubborn and resilient. So you'll figure it out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the space. If all I do is create a comfortable space, then I've succeeded, in my opinion. Because that's all I've ever wanted to do. Create somewhere where people feel comfy and can relax from world troubles for a little while. Basically do for everyone else what Twitch did for me when I first joined the platform. I'm not gonna solve any world problems doing this. In theory. I'd love to. But I think just give people space to figure it out on their own. That's a worthy thing. Alright. More detail. Always more detail. Feel alive? Oh, I love that, Clive. Thank you. But please, please, please prioritize looking after yourself. Always prioritize yourself and real life over imaginary. Well, not imaginary. What was I going to say? Online. That was the word I was looking for. Over online and virtual. Because the beautiful thing about this, you can still watch the VOD. You can watch the VOD in 2 places now. The VODs are never going to go away. So they'll always be there. Even if I can't be live. Hey, you gotta be stubborn to be a killer main. Let's face it. No one's gonna argue that point. The most stubborn people in this world are those who are still playing killer in DBD. By choice. Not just playing it, but they're playing it by choice. Like, holy hell. Hey, no, turning up, even if all you do is lurk, that means everything. Like, turning up, being here, saying hi, even if all you can do is go, hi, I'm going to bed, but hi. I appreciate the hell out of that. Even if you can't be here, but you watch the VOD, that's hugely appreciated as well. Everything helps. Everything is important. Even if you can't be here, I still appreciate you. You're a fantastic person. Such a thankless role. It is. But without killers, we couldn't have matches. It needs to be a killer main appreciation day for DBD. Thank you for suffering so we don't have to. We terrible survivor mains. Us filthy casuals. There we go. Getting there. No, if I ever do get back to DBD, I'm gonna be full memeing, I think. Full like bottom tier meme survivor who just thank you, Mr. Killer Mean. That's so bad. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to choose between winning as a killer or playing a fun game, which should never have to be a choice. Don't try the long bristle brush. I'll give it a go. Let's see if this works. Ooh, this feels very floaty. Not sure I like using the long brush for detail work. Yep, nope. Not a fan of that one. That's the short one. Got our own pebble? Hell yeah. Be a full-on pebble distraction gamer. Like pebble, quick and quiet. I don't know. Flashbang is something else. No, flashbang seems a little harsh. What's a useless perk these days? Wake up? That's always been fairly bottom tier. Competitive and empathetic. Yeah. I get exactly what you mean. And DBD feels almost uniquely designed to make you suffer if you like that. Especially if you're a killer main. And I think it's the asymmetry in it. Just because so much leans on how the killer plays. Because how the killer plays will dictate the whole flow of the game. You know, which killer you pick, what build you pick, whether you're aggressive or chilled, whether you're memeing or, you know, trying to win. Like, without that, it kind of... You don't have a game, really. So it's a hugely important role. Dark Sense. that's the thing. Dark Sense, Pebble, Wake Up. I don't know, was it? By Any Means? Is it? The one that lets you reset pallets? Here we go. Killer's best friend. All right. There we go. And that little token there. Don't know what that's meant to be. Perfect. Alright, next time I play DBD, if I ever play DBD, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be killer bait. No, I don't think I've actually touched DBD since around the time the Cenobite was introduced. And I don't really miss it, sad. Like, I miss more playing with the people that I would play with. I miss those games, not for the game itself, but for the people I was spending time with. So, yeah, I don't think it's a particularly high endorsement of the game. Where I've not played for several months, despite putting 1,000 hours into the game. To go pretty much cold turkey overnight. And then be like, actually, I don't miss it. It's pretty telling. A roster some bonus BP to the role that's needed. Oh, yeah, maybe. That'll be nice. I do think a lot of people who have never played Killer need to play it to actually learn some empathy. Incentivizing roles usually works pretty well. Usually. So, where in games where I've seen it done before, but it usually is pretty good for the health of the game. And the Meg skin is very good. Ooh, yeah. I need to redeem that then. I do have Prime. I do indeed. I also have a bunch of Warframe things that I need to redeem before they expire. Because that's a game I've also not touched for several months. And watching him stream it has given me a real hankering for it again. I can almost hear my E key screaming now. Oops. Next sound a moment. It's not fun, it's not worth your time. Yeah, that's kind of my philosophy. I used to worry about it because DBD. I mean, if I stream DBD now, it would still probably be one of my better performing streams in terms of numbers. Just, yeah, in general. But I wasn't enjoying it. I don't know. It felt wrong to compromise like that. To so heavily compromise what I was doing for the sake of numbers felt really disingenuous. So I stopped. I just kind of went, well, fuck it. If I can't make it, if the only way I can make this work is by playing DBD, then maybe I shouldn't be a streamer, So I stopped. And luckily for me, didn't need to stop streaming. Because I would have been really sad if that had been the case. Purple jacket, really cool bag. Ooh. I have to check that out, Clive. I haven't actually looked at my Prime rewards for a couple of weeks, so haven't yet seen it, but I will definitely check it out. Now you mention it. playing a game you're not having fun with. Yeah, it's silly because I used to have this discussion so much with people I modded for and other individuals who I was close with who would stress about what they were playing because of numbers. And then I fell into the same trap myself. But they're not, and it's hard to let go of. It's really hard to sort of go, fuck it. I'm not happy doing it. I'm just not going to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, take your pride out of the equation, let the numbers fall, and you'll find new people who like the content that makes you happy. And if they just keep falling and you end up losing even the people who said they'd be there regardless, then maybe the problem isn't the game. I don't know. Content creation can be brutal. Lots of tough love needed. But also, you know, a bit of realism. Judging your entire streaming career on one stream is not the way to do it. Yeah. I think it's hard, but just taking a longer view of things. And at the end of the day, if you want to keep doing this, like, or turn it into a career, or whatever your goal is, other than just, you know, cashing out, I guess. The worst thing you can do is focus on numbers. Focusing on numbers automatically turns it from fun hobby to crunch. Especially when you're live. Looking at numbers while you're live will always tank you. I still need to get out the habit of looking at numbers while I'm live. And I know I can turn them off, but I also like having it there as the reassurance that, yes, there are some people here. Even if it's just one or two. Ooh, nearly. There we go. Play Desbus. Go for it. I'm sure there's someone who would make it work. Clive. Like there are. I think I was looking at the numbers, and it's like for every one content creator, there are 20 viewers. And that ratio is shrinking because there's an increasing number of streamers. But that means there are potentially 20 people who are looking for the stream that you are about to start. They just don't know it yet. At least that's the way I like to look at it. I found it weirdly motivational hearing that. Alright, you know what? Just gonna catch these little bits on the arm here, and I'm gonna call his guy done. It's a little bit rough and ready, but I'm happy with it. It's tabletop ready, not display. I'm going to do much better moving on to the next guy for now. Oops. You into anime? Yeah, I do watch some. I mainly watch the popular ones. I'm not heavily into it, but I do like anime. Why'd you ask? All right. So I'm just using a hobby scalpel to get some of the extra bits of plastic smoothed off. You know, if you are using scalpel, it is a sharp object. Originally designed to cut skin, so be careful. Pretty please. Please use the usual knife safety rules. Bear in mind that I am very familiar with scalpel work and have quite a lot of experience with using them in both hobby work and otherwise. So my technique may not be the safest, but it's the one that I'm most familiar with. All right. Jujutsu Kaisen? I'm not sure. Is it got an English title, Clive? It sounds familiar. So I've maybe heard people talk about it. I was like, no worries. Sorry about the ads. Those who are getting them. I am trying to get rid of them, but unfortunately it's not something that's in my control. One day soon, hopefully. Alrighty. So it looks like a chunk of masonry this guy's perched on. I'm not exactly sure. Apologize for the ads. Nah, I feel bad. It feels like it's getting worse. And I don't like how intrusive ads on Twitch are. If they were banner ads, I wouldn't mind so much, but they basically mean you can't watch or interact with the stream in any way, which I think is wrong. But one day we'll find a solution. Okay. You guys know all living beings animate energy called cursed energy. Okay. Normal people cannot control this flow. Oh, okay. That sounds really cool. I do like the sound of it. I've not seen it myself, no. I'll have to check it out. Is it on a specific platform that you're aware of, Clive? Is it like a Netflix one, or would it be something like Crunchyroll or Funimation? Come on. Here we go. Recommend? Why did I read that in my head? That sounded like I read it in like your rally English accent. All right, there's 2 recommendations from people I trust. I'm gonna have to check this one out. Crunchyroll Funimation? Okay. Time to reactivate the old account. All right. So this is like the head of a poor, hapless, undead, maybe a rotter. It's about to be turned into a touchdown, from the looks of it. That's what I'm doing here. Winnie recommended it. Ah, Winnie's good with recommendations. She's got good taste, that one. I have been in the market for something new to occupy myself with, so I will probably check it out when I get a moment. Let's go with this one. And you need to watch this. Oh no. Is it one of those ones where you watch it all at once and now you're like, crap? I hate it when that happens. Oof, the caffeine headaches. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned Clive, but I'm officially off my daily dose of energy drinks. I'm now down to the emergency help. I haven't slept for 3 days and I can't actually get out of bed without this. Mostly drinking tea and coffee these days instead. So I'm not caffeine free. I will point that out. I'm just getting my caffeine from slightly better sources, or healthier sources. Yeah, I actually don't like how that's turned out. Where's that paint? Nice. Thank you. It's just you mentioning caffeine headaches. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember those. I think it was the sugar that was the problem more than anything. Even sugar-free energy drinks. They something was still causing the big ouch for the first couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm past the worst of it now. It wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. It's more of a habit break. Okay, just getting this fin before I catch up with chat. Gonna leave a like. Noria's hand. Enjoy your shower. Hope it's nice and comfy. You take your time. And if we don't see you for the rest of the evening, I hope you have an excellent evening as well. Tried cold turkey. Oh, no. I'd never do cold turkey caffeine. Caffeine withdrawal is a bitch. Especially from the volume that I'm having. So if I was going to go completely caffeine free, I'd probably taper off. But yeah, it's nice to not constantly be taking in so much junk. Yeah, I've done caffeine detoxes, I guess, before. Do not recommend. Don't do it cold turkey, guys. It's not fun. Especially when you work 40 hours a week and stream and work out. And whatever else you do. Alright. Enough detail. Let's go on to the actual chap that I'm meant to be painting. No. It's just, oh my god, stop talking with paintbrushes in your mouth. I cold turkey on energy drinks. So it was a cold turkey switch from energy drinks one day to no energy drinks the next. But I was still drinking tea and coffee, and I wasn't limiting myself on how much I had. The only limit I put in was, not after 4 p.m. so I could still sleep. And that was mainly so that I didn't overload and just, end up making myself miserable because I didn't sleep enough. But yeah, it was actually surprisingly painless. And a smooth transition, more or less. Alright. At the leg. These Blood Bowl figures, yes, they are. This is the newest team available. This is the Norse Blood Bowl team. Super, super keen on them. I have been waiting for them for quite some time. I've been interested in Blood Bowl for a long time. It's one of my favorite of the available options at Games Workshop, because it is the right parts, right mix of silly, fantasy, brutal, and challenging, I guess, to learn. It's got just enough challenge to be interesting, but not so much that the rules are difficult to understand. But I've been waiting for the right team, basically. And as soon as I heard about these guys, I knew they were the right ones for me. But I've played a lot of Blood Bowl, the video game. Really enjoyed it. I used to stream it back in the day, but I stopped because I wasn't playing as much Warhammer stuff. Then just never got back into it. Like a really cool team. Yeah, I mean, they have my favorite mini, I think, in any GW thing. That's a beer ball. They have beer balls. Like, how could you hate a team that has beer balls? But yeah, and their tokens look awesome as well. Don't mind all metallic. Are they showing up alright? Yeah. The metallic tokens, and you've got these. So yeah, we've been steadily making progress on them. Cute. Yeah, I love the beer balls. But I've painted. I'm about halfway on the team. This stream is the halfway mark, basically. I still need to pick up the Yetis, but I have everything else for the team. It's the first time in a long time that I just kind of went, I'm going to get everything all at once for this release. So I really kind of, I got the dice, I got the Spike magazine, I got the cards. I think the only thing I didn't get right away was the pitch, which I didn't get because we have Blood Bowl pitches here. So I don't really need another one. And the Yetis, because they're Forge World. And my partner was kind enough to pick up the other star players for me. So there's a chap that I was base coating earlier, and then there's the other one as well. But the Yeti's the one I'm super excited about. You want a well-themed team? Yeah. All the Blood Bowl teams have a lot of personality, to be fair. But this one's just, it just felt right for me. You all know how much I love my Norse stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hell yeah. We got the Blood Bowl thickness and we got Squiffy. Thank you so much for 34 months. Sorry, 44 months. I can't read. Thank you so much. Holy crap. And thank you. I'm glad you like the new name. Oh, I hope you're doing well, Squiff. It's been a little while. It's so good to see you. And thank you so much for the resub. I really, really appreciate it. Hell yeah, we got some Blood Bowl thickness going on here today. Scantily clad Norsemen. And almost TOS team kit. We got the booty shorts. We got the strategically placed armor plates. Like I said, it was the right team for me. I'm discussing the ADHD meds. Okay, I hope the new try, whatever it is you're trying, I hope it works out, Squiff. I'm excited for you. I hope it's a positive change. Almost done with Power Wash Them. No. I'm so sad when I finished that. I definitely binged that game. Something rotten. Like Markiplier, he mentioned he mad? Okay. That's fair enough. I mean, I hope it works out for yourself mainly, but also for him. I will admit I am not very up to date with Markiplier stuff. I know he's had some medical troubles recently, but I'm not really up to date with it, to be honest. Have we got a steady base coat? Steady enough. Oh, fingers crossed for you, Squiff. Not finished in 10 times. I tried going back to one of them and I was just like, it's not the same. Maybe I'll stream some of the ones that I haven't done to give me motivation to do it. Oh, the ones that I haven't done on stream, I should say. Because I did enjoy the Power Wash streams. They were a lot of fun. Sorry, just giving my hands a quick break, folks. But yeah, Power Sim's a great game. Dangerously addictive, that one. I did kind of feel like I was like, I should be doing other things, but power washing. So it's probably good for my schedule that I'm not doing quite as much as I was on it. So stupid, I want to clean. It's like I'm motivated to clean, just not in person. It's not quite the same in it's like I really want to clean something. You look and you're like, well, I could clean the kitchen, but I could also clean a virtual treehouse. I know which one I prefer. desert statue. Oh, the desert statue is one of my favorite levels. Just the color of the statue. When you clean it, it's gorgeous. Yeah, sadly that is quite close to the end of the current game. But I think it was on their roadmap, they're saying maybe there's going to be more levels in this. Fingers crossed. I love this. Oh, the skate park drove me mad. The skate park made me angry. I don't know if it was just a bad day or if my PC was being glitchy or what, but it just frustrated me. I remember I was watching Legend of Korra while I was doing the skate park. Doing a train soon. Oh, that'll be fun. Not looking at any mark named content creators with like close attention. Not knowing about tab, what you could rotate the nozzle. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it was who was it I watched? Might have been Game Grumps, actually. And they did an entire level where they didn't rotate the nozzle, and I was screaming. I was screaming at the screen like, turn, hit tab, hit R, rotate the nozzle. I don't know, I'm glad that it's getting traction. Where's the last of it? I'm so lost. Tab mark, please. Or maybe I might need to watch those ones just for the frustration and entertainment value. Let's use silver first, actually. Grumpy Doody, yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was like, he was several levels up, and he hadn't worked out about lunge on killer. That was a bit sad. That was bad time, Bears. Like I watched it out of sheer morbid curiosity, and I was sat there like, this is painful. This is someone who has not played the tutorial. He did get a grab off though, so, you know, kudos on that one. If I remember rightly, anyway. Now I'm currently, I think Game Grumps are probably one of the biggest content creators I watch regularly now. And I've been watching them play through Elden Ring, which has been chaotic, but also weirdly chill. It's kind of like a podcast with Elden Ring in the background. So it's been quite fun watching those two. Alright, can we get... Okay, we can get... Okay. Not anymore. We do. We have some on the front too. Terrifix 2-6. There we go. Bit better. House Party series. Oh, yes. I love the House Party series. Have you watched the after some of the updates? Have you watched all of the House Party stuff, Clive? Just because there was a particular update that I want to ask you about, but if I specify, it will give it away. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who has not seen it and would like to see it without spoilers. I'd have to check that out. There was one, it was a couple of months back. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one I was talking about. I didn't want to say it in case you hadn't seen it. But yeah, that one was fantastic. It was kind of cool. It was kind of adorable watching them trip out over it too. Just kind of seeing how giddy they both got with it. I don't know. I always find it incredibly endearing watching people get giddy over stuff like that. There was there was that. There was a couple more after that as well, but that was the main one I was thinking about. But yeah, I love watching the Game Grumps. 10-minute power hour is fantastic. Pure unbridled chaos. Alrighty. How's it going, dude? I hear that in my head every time someone says, "How's it going?" I hear that in my head. Frank being the PC police. No, it was great. Honestly, one of my favorite things on YouTube. Just really, really silly, funny nonsense. I keep meaning to pick up the game after watching it. I haven't got around to it yet. The picture I really, really want to print off like a proper size version of that printer painting. That's what I was looking for. Like, if I ever meet the Grumps, I will bring them a copy of that picture. To get hypnotized. Alright. Oh, it's so freaking good. Such a good series. I am very quickly gonna be right back, folks. I will leave you with the lovely background music. Just 2 moments. Just got to change the water. Alright, I'm back. Legs freshly stretched, water freshly changed, and promptly recontaminated. Alrighty, where were we? Right. I do have a plan for this guy. It's gonna look a little different. Apologies for the trains. I can't tell if they're coming through on stream. But if they are, I hope they're not too distracting. Beck, thank you. I'm determined to at the very least, finish this guy today. Or at least finish him as much as the rest of the team is finished. And then I'll see how I feel. I might do one more. I might do part of one. We'll see. Just need to keep an eye on the old camera battery more than anything. I think that's going to be my limiting factor tonight. Oh. Okay, that was alright. I was able to fix that one. The best thing about painting is, compared to a lot of other art forms, if you're quick, no one will ever know you made a mistake. Alright. So at the moment it's still kind of like base, first draft kind of layer level. So simple. Just trying to make sure it's all even, sort of minimize patchiness and overspill, that kind of thing. I'm just doing them to tabletop standards, so there will be some flaws. You'll notice I'm also not using any ink washes. This is all base and layer paints. It's because I'm going to do the washes for the whole team at the same time. So it'll be one big session when I do that. And it's just so that the final finish is as even as I can make it across the entire team. Because obviously the rest of it is kind of taking a lot longer. I didn't want there to be too much difference and variation depending on my technique that day, basically. Alrighty. So we got our first blonde on the team. I'm going for kind of a mousy, I don't know, it might be a little bit ashy, it might be a little bit strawberry blonde kind of colour in the end. Whereas everyone else is kind of a brownish, gingery kind of colour. This guy's going to be straight up blonde. Because, you know, you gotta mix it up. Got some with grey hair, some with sort of dark black or brown. Gotta have a blonde somewhere. Can't let the brunettes and redheads have all the fun. Turning out awesome so far. Thank you. So if I get the rest of the team, I'll line them up with that pot there. So that's our chat from earlier. It says compatriot. The friendly guy. Can you see it there? Put one more next to him. It's good because we only have one more left. And then the beer balls. We've also got the tokens, but I won't put those in shot. So that's the team so far, for what you can see. And then obviously, one in waiting. I'm having a lot of fun with these guys. They're a lot sillier, but really, really entertaining to paint. Just been nice to sort of take a departure from the usual kind of grim, dark, and serious stuff that I tend to paint. And also paint something that I've been looking forward to for so freaking long. Super fun. But I'll be keen to have these fully done so that I can do a team photo at some point. Maybe even get them in a match. Who knows? I'm glad you liked them, Clive. Blood Bowl is a really good option if you're looking for something that's kind of low commitment to paint. Because it's 10 to 12 dudes, or, 10 to 12 individuals on the team. And they're usually a lot more fun, a lot more relaxed. You can make up your own team colours or follow the guides. I've not obviously not based them yet. Like much like with the washes, I'm gonna base them all at the same time. So it'll probably be a midweek hobby session where I just go through all of them, doing all of the shades, all of the final layering, and all of the basing. To get it all settled and squared away, but that'll be a couple of weeks out at least. Pretty damn cool. They're a lot of fun. And jeez, please. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I love Blood Bowl. They're just fun. All the teams are really thematic. It's not just these guys. I just have a particular soft spot for Norse mythology and Viking and all that sort of thing, as you all know by now. If you've been here any length of time. So yeah, it felt like the natural choice. And they all have little things like the dwarves have a literal steamroller, which is not illegal for them to have, that they can actually put on the field. It has rules. The orcs have a guy who is literally picking up a goblin to throw him and score a touchdown. Yes, you can score a touchdown with a grot. The halflings have a big old stew pot. So yeah, there's some pretty fun ones. Do they have Tomb Kings as a team? They don't have Tomb Kings yet. I say yet because they might do in the future. They do have an undead team. And they have a Nurgle Poxwalker team. They have a Skaven team. They obviously have humans. They have the Reichland Raiders. The Gouged Eye Orcs. Scabag Snivelers is the Skaven. Can't remember the dwarf team off the top of my head. But yeah, there's loads. There's loads of teams. They have elves, Elven Union, Dark Elves. Pretty much any faction you can think of, except Tomb Kings. So who knows? Maybe they're next. Almost got me there. Yeah, Skaven were going to be my original choice, and I did actually get as far as painting a rat ogre before I decided they weren't for me. So somewhere I have a fully painted rat ogre, which I'm rather fond of. Yes, I like my rattos. But these guys had me at beer ball. Definitely recommend Blood Bowl if you are itching to paint something. It's a little more fun. They had a Blood Bowl book series that was really nicely presented. Sadly, I missed it. I'm gutted because it had like the proper football leather bindings on them. And I've not seen it come out in any other format since. I'm kind of gutted about that. So I reckon those have been fun to read. See, Lefty. Yes. Just hear him growling, comedian. Man, I miss Lefty's streams. He's always streaming while I'm at work these days. It's hard for me to catch him. Right. Interesting. Damn it. I love the colour of this paint, but it goes on so badly. All right, Mr. Hot Shorts. That's the first layer for your shorts done. What was it? Captain Tight Pants? Was that the name that Kaylee gave Captain Reynolds? I feel like that's an appropriate nickname for this guy. Captain Tight Pants. I love that Blood Bowl is just American football in the Warhammer universe. Complete with cheerleaders and beloved commentators, Bob and Jim. Oops, wasn't quick enough fixing that hand. There it is. Genuinely the best description I can give of what is Blood Bowl. You take American football, you put it in old world Warhammer Fantasy Battle world. There you have it, Blood Bowl. And yes, the commentators are genuinely called Bob and Jim. The cheerleaders are a mixture of undead and elves, I believe. If I remember my lore correctly. I believe there may be some humans mixed in there. Yeah, you can buy coaches, you can buy star players, you can create leagues. It's fantastic. I would love to have a Blood Bowl animation on Warhammer Plus. I think that would be absolutely brilliant. An animated Blood Bowl tournament on Warhammer Plus. It'd be the only sport I'd actually follow. Okay. It'd be very entertaining. I'd enjoy it. As long as I got the right voice for Bob and Jim. Right voices for them, I'd be happy. Okay. Alright. Not too far off finishing this guy. He's come along quite nicely, actually. Generally a very well-behaved model. Which is always nice when the model behaves themselves. Right. Got that. Get these buckles and stuff done up here. Then it is just the helmet, the shoulder pad, the horn, and I think we're done. Which is pretty neat. Feels like it's flown by. Need to get Patrick Warburton for one of the team captains. Hell yeah. Get him for a star player. That'd be great. Cameos with the likes of Henry Cavill. Great Minotaur. I can see that. Minotaur. Would it be harsh to say I think he'd do very well as an ogre? Oh no, he'd be a great Bob. He'd be a great choice for Bob. The other commentator. The one who sits there and looks at the match. I was going to say looks pretty, but Bob is not a pretty individual. Unless you're into ogres. Okay, just stealing Captain Tight Pants. That's his name now. I'm not ever gonna see him as anything else. Amazing. Oh, we should do it. Make it happen, GW. I do need to catch up on the animated stuff. I kind of lost track of my Warhammer Plus. I haven't been keeping up with any of it. Okay. Let's tidy up this bit. Just wanting this to be a bit less patchy. You know? get some bronze on this guy. Then I think it's shoulder pad time. No? What's up? Oh, did you just finish Power Wash? No, you just finished the sampling. No. Oh, I'm sorry, Clive. But also, congratulations. Congratulations and commiserations for finishing. No, I get it. It's like, you know, really bittersweet moment of, yeah, I finished the game. Oh crap, I finished the game. Now that's no more. It means it's over. Took a long time, but enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not sure how many hours I put into it, but I enjoyed every single one of them. Okay. It's a very, very good game. So ridiculously satisfying. Picked up Sims 4 on sale. Oh no. Yeah, that'll be completed in a weekend, right? It's that kind of game. I'll be honest, Sunhaven has consumed my life. I adore that game so much. It has just got the right stuff to keep me hooked. I'll be honest though, I've never played a lot of Sims. Like, obviously, I know what it is, and I think I have Sims 3? Maybe 4? I'm not sure which one. I have one of them. But I've never really gotten into it in the way that most people have. I always liked watching people play Sims, though. It's definitely one that I enjoy watching on Twitch. Every iteration? Oh my goodness. That's impressive. Does Sims 4 hold up to the rest of the franchise? I had no idea you were a Sims fan, Clive. Okay. Definitely think I need to take a break after this. I'm starting to get the hand cramps and the shakes. It's time to stop soon. Sadly. But I'm happy with what we've done today. I think we've done a good job. Everyone, nice quality of life. Aww. Yeah. Yeah, with the microtransactions. Here, let's monetize parts of the game that should be included as standard. And make you pay extra for them. Alright, let's have a look. On sale, all of the DLCs, $557. Yeah, nah. Not gonna happen. Like you said, it's greed. But there we go. Those are our two newest Blood Bowl editions. So yeah. It's 2 more to the team, brings the team total to 6. Plus the 2 beer bars. I definitely need to take a break because my hands are going too shaky, unfortunately. So I am going to leave it there for today. Let's go. Almost got a full team. Almost. Doesn't look like anyone I can read. Okay. Apparently no one streams on Thursday nights. At least no one I can read. So I'm gonna leave it there for today. I will be back on Sunday for another painting stream. But you can't guess what I'm gonna be doing. But yeah, it's gonna be more Blood Bowl, guys. I really want to finish this team off. So hopefully I can get more than 2 done. Thank you for being here, Chai. I appreciate it. and Clive and everyone else too who stopped by and lurked, and Squiffy for the big old resub. I appreciate all of you very, very much. Like I said, I'll be back on Sunday for a painting stream. I might do some gaming around it if my hands decide to be difficult. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So for now, I'm gonna take a break and rest. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Anyone who wants to watch this can also catch it on YouTube as well. Yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and stay safe, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now, folks.